So the tune doesn't sound too bad. I don't hear any oscillations or vibrations. It's a little on the loose side. I think it's because it's probably tuned for an 850. I have a 650 on here. And I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy. Don't want to bust my naked GoPro that's on here. Basically, if I hit a tree branch or anything, this thing is going to break. If I hit the ground, it's going to break for sure, so nothing too crazy. Plus the camera mount of this thing seems a bit on the loose side. I'm not even sure if the angle is held up or not. All right, I need to adjust the rates on this. It's a little too high. Yeah, it's a little too high. A little bit of wobble there in the power loop. Yeah, you can see that, see that little wobble there? Yeah, I think it's tuned for larger batteries, it seems. And then, even though they give a range of 650, 850, even if it's off by 10 grams, these pid tunes are so precise now. Really not much room for error. Gonna get a pretty good flight time, I think, on this. Oh, this wind is pretty bad actually, so some of these wobbles are from the wind. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the microphone or not. Probably not. There's a nice wind muff on this microphone. But yeah, it's pretty windy right now. Oh, and I'm getting a red warning at 14.8 volts, even though it's a 4-cell. Okay, 14.7, interesting. I'm only at 3.5 minutes of flight time. Maybe the warning is set pretty high on this one. Usually on a 4-cell. Oh. Yeah, usually on a 4-cell you can go down to like 14 volts or 13.5 volts, no problem. So the out of the box setting must be set pretty high on this one. Strange. Anyway, I think I'll bring it in just in case. About 4 minutes of flight. What do you guys think? Alright guys, so I'm going to try a new format for my videos here because I've been noticing that from the analytics that on average my videos get watched about 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes if I'm lucky. So I'm going to try and make these videos a lot shorter and put the flight footage at the beginning because you guys seem to skip over all the mumbo jumbo stuff and go right to the flight footage. So if you want to see all the specs on the Holybro Freestyle 4, I'll list them all here. You can read them off and pause the video if you want to know what those are, or you can click the product link down in the description to get all of the specifications. I'm just going to give you my overall conclusion on this model and what I think of it, because I think that's what you guys are interested in. So obviously this is the DJI version. There's an analog version as well. This has the Vista here in the back, a 2-board 20x20 stack, and 1404 T-motor motors. Essentially a modification of the 4-inch long-range platform, but not for long range. They've modified this for freestyle and optimized it for that. So you've got the shorter antenna in the back here, no GPS, they do have a GPS module available if you want to see a conversion to the M8 GPS module. This is a Holybro product. It is a compass and GPS combo, and it can be installed in this one if you want to go long range in this one. If you're interested in a video on that, leave me a comment down in the comment box, and if there's enough interest, I may consider doing that. Let's go right to the weight of this thing, and that is, I think, the most important thing to think about here in terms of this model. So this is the drone weight, no battery, no GoPro, 189. This is what I flew with, a 654S. Comes to 265, and then with the Naked Hero 7 here, now we're coming in at 296.9. So this is the all-up weight that I flew it. I think the PID tune that's on the flight controller is actually for an 850, a bigger battery, a little bit heavier, because it did feel a little bit loose in the way it flew. So I think the way the PIDs are tuned for something probably about 25 grams heavier is my guess based on the way it felt in flight. They have this interesting naked GoPro mount here with the plug for the naked GoPro already installed. I did not have to install this, and this is the one that will work with the Beta FPV BEC. But you see, I pulled the yellow pin out. That's the signal pin for the turning, I guess, the remote recording capability, which doesn't work on my BEC board for whatever reason on this particular model. I've never gotten to work on anything. So I just pulled the pin out, which is why you see it like this. If you can't get it to work, just pull the pin out and it'll work normally, just power it up, and then you can use the power up and record buttons like normal on your naked GoPro. But it is nice that the plug is pre-installed in this model. There are also instructions on the manual at the very end of the manual that explain how to set up this remote record feature. I would recommend going through that. It works the same as another other model in Betaflight, just that I found that I've never really gotten to work reliably on any of my models, so I'm not exactly sure why, but that's the way it is. But this particular mount works with naked GoPros like this one here, or with the Beta FPV V2 case, or also with the SMO 4K camera, and you have to remove this little extra piece here that it uses up a little space, because the SMO 4K camera is a little bit thicker. So this pops out. It's yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to show that here. It's pretty tight in there. If you, it's an extra piece right here. If you pull that out, then the SMO 4K camera will fit in here. So if you want to fly with that, if you have the SMO 4K, you can do that. I think an adapter for this plug is also included for the SMO 4K camera in the box. A couple things I think they could change here is this mount is a little bit too loose. You can see it's hard to maintain that angle, and also it can't go far enough back if you want to go like super fast, because the battery gets in the way. And then they should extend, while they extended the carbon plate for batteries being longer going backwards, they didn't include a silicone pad for the battery. So I would recommend adding something like that. And then I think an extra battery strap is included. You should probably use that here in the back and use 2 battery straps for your battery, especially if you're using a bigger one. If you crash this one, if you just use one like I did here, it's probably going to get ejected. So keep that in mind. Now, back to the weight, it's a bit on the heavier side, and I think it's tuned for heavier battery as well, but it still has, I think, plenty of power, pretty decent freestyle. I didn't feel like it was underpowered. I just didn't feel like it had extra power available, if that's what you're looking for. I think that a bigger motor might be better for this weight, given the fact that it has removable arms and all this extra weight here, and it's going to carry a naked GoPro and full-size Vista, Crossfire, etc. So, it's not ultralight. It's not meant for to be ultralight. So I think the 1404 motor is a little bit undersized for this class. If they're going for freestyle, you probably want to, looking for super long flight times, you're looking for more performance. So I'm thinking like a 1504, 1505, 1606 motor might be better suited for this if you're looking for a 4-inch sort of freestyle quad, so this is just, feedback to Holybro. If you guys are listening, that's what I would recommend. But overall, it's nice. It's not like blowing your mind or anything like that, but, it's not a slouch either. As you saw in the footage, it's got some pretty decent power. Anyway, that's my conclusion of this model. Link down in the description if you want to check it out. Let me know if you like this format better or worse down in the comments below. Let me know in the comments, because I'm thinking I'm going to make this permanent, put the footage at the beginning and shorten down the talking so that it's way shorter than it usually is. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Talk to you later.